Hi everyone, I am C. Punshi, Indirect Tax Expert at HereTax, and in this video we are going to cover about the recent notification which have been issued by CPIC. So here there are a lot of notifications which has been issued, and most of the notification, if we just see, they have notified in a way which was proposed in the Finance Act. So now when we look into what were that notifications which have been recently issued, so the first and which is really very important is about the time limit for claiming the ITC. So if we know today we are able to claim the ITC maximum up to next year September return due date, which is mostly by 20th of October or 22nd or 24th of October, depending on my due date for the month of September return period. So this was the current status that when I can claim that ITC. But now when we look into what is the recent change, so now I can claim this ITC till next year 30th November. What exactly that means, because there's again a lot of confusion in the market. So when we are saying next year 30th November, which means, which obviously I'm going to claim the ITC in my GSTR 3B. So if I'm going to claim the ITC in my GSTR 3B, so there the due date of filing my GSTR 3B for the month of October is 20th of November. I'm assuming I'm a monthly filer, so which is 20th of October. Now, if I make a delay in filing for the month of October, then again I can always claim the ITC if I file my return till 30th of November. But if I file after that particular date, any of that return, then I cannot claim the ITC. So this is one of the important thing which we should understand, that here when I'm saying this, if you're delaying, then obviously you also have to pay the interest and the late fees. It's always better that you go ahead and claim the ITC on time, which is related to your FY 21-22, as well as in the going forward period also when we look into it, so we can always claim that ITC. Now, the next important change over here is also about the amendments. So today we do a lot of amendment. Let's say when we file our GST 1, so in GST 1 I can do the amendment till my again September return period, right? Next year September return due date, I can always do any amendments which I have to do in GST 1. So that date is also now extended. So here I can do all the amendment till 30th November. But again, the same thing, the same logic is even applicable over here. Whenever I am doing any amendments, we can do in the return itself. And when we look into GST 1 filing due date for the month of October, then the due date is 11th of the next month, right? So if it is 11th of the next month, then I have to make sure that I am doing all that amendments by the October return period itself. Because if I'm trying, okay, I have to do it in the November return period, then the due date is 11th of December. Then your timeline for doing any amendment which was related to the previous year is gone. So you have to again make sure over here that you are doing the amendments again on time. So this is the extension. So there is an extension which has been given, but this extension is only for one more extra month. But the thing is, if you have missed something, you are going to do this through GST 1 or maybe GST 3B. And even if we talk about the ITC part, which we talk about, if you are a quarterly person, so for a quarterly person, we again understand that there is a month called July, August, September. This is a quarter, and for this quarter, right, we can again file the return. So there is a due date for that. So which is again like 20th. So 20 till 20th of the next month, which is 20th of like October, you can always file that return. So after that, even this date is extended till 30th of November. Still, the filing for that particular quarter is restricted to 20th of October. So which means you can make any changes only up to that date. And if you want to make the changes till 30th November, so if you're delaying in filing the return itself, then you can obviously do that. But otherwise, you won't be able to do that. So this is something which you should always keep in your mind. So these were the two major changes, which was claiming of the ITC, and the second part was the amendment. If I have to do any amendment in GST 1, even if I have to do certain amendments which was related to my previous year, I can always do this till my next year 30th November. So that is what we can always do that. Now, one important part, because there were a lot of confusion which always comes, is in respect of GSTR 2B. So when we look into GSTR 2B, the government have already set the condition, that what are the conditions for claiming the ITC, right? So in section 16, we do have a condition, and when we look into 2B, today there is two section. One is ITC available and another is ITC not available. So these were the two sections which was there. Now, when we talk about the ITC available, right? In that ITC available, also we used to check what is 17.5, and accordingly was not claiming the ITC. But here, whatever the ITC not available as per the government, which is like one example is place of supply. So whenever my place of supply is not actual the place of supply which has been mentioned by the supply, which is my state, let's say if it's in state of Karnataka, where the place of supply which is mentioned by the supplier, that is Delhi. So in that case, I can't claim the ITC. The best example is in respect of immovable property. So if I have booked some hotel and all, there I am not able to claim that ITC. So that is what they are saying. If in 2B it has been shown as ineligible, then you won't be able to claim the ITC. And not only this. So today, if we look into 2B, under the ITC not available, there are only two things. One is in respect of the place of supply, another is the time bar thing, which is our section 16.4 itself, which means if there was some invoices which has been uploaded by supplier after this 30th November, that will also fall under ITC not available in my GST 2B. So on both this information, I cannot claim ITC. Both these documents, I cannot claim ITC. Now they are going to extend this particular thing. When I'm saying extend this, so they have also introduced a new section, which is section number 38. So here when we look into this section number 38, so this section was already there, it was not there, but they have now changed this section. So they have revised this section which was already proposed in the Finance Act. Now they have notified it. So as per this section 38, if we look into it, what exactly they are saying, that under the ITC not available, right? So under ITC not available, they will introduce more information. And what would be that ITC not available? So if your supplier has defaulted in the payment of taxes, and the default with that particular default has continued till the prescribed time limit, you cannot claim the ITC. So they have not defined that prescribed time limit. Soon they will also come up with the rules where they are going to define that. In the second way, they're saying if you have some inward supplies from a supplier who is having a new registration, they will also again have some prescribed time limit that till which time you cannot claim the ITC. So again, this will be considered under the ITC not available in the 2B itself. Then the third part is if the taxes paid in 3B is lower than the output tax which is shown in GST 1, the by the prescribed time limit, again in such case, right, the government they are going to show this as a ineligible ITC, right, or maybe I would say ITC not available. Then if there is an inward supply which is received from the supplier who has taken more ITC in GST 2B than 3B by the prescribed time limit, by the prescribed limit, in such case again this will be considered as a night ITC not available. Then if supplier has paid higher proportion of tax from the electronic credit ledger than what is allowed in the law, then again we will be considering that as a ITC not available. And there could be some other notified person which government will soon notify. In such cases also this will be considered as a ITC not available. Then the another part is if the supplier has paid the higher proportion of taxes from his electronic credit ledger than what is allowed as per the law. So now they are talking about the 86B, right, where at least 1% taxes we have to pay in the form of cash. So if they are covered on that in that particular section, and still they have utilized entire ITC, have not paid the taxes through cash, in such case again they will fall over here and we will not be able to claim ITC on such transaction. Now the another important change is about the due date of filing GST 5 for the non-resident taxable person. So now what they have done, earlier it used to be the 20th of the next month, now they have changed it to 30th of the next month. So this was a change. Other than that, they have given that option to pay the self-assessment tax or amount which is prescribed under GST law for the QRMP people. We know it's already there, so they may come up with some new revised rules for the same. So this were like some of the important changes which is going to impact other businesses. The one part was claiming ITC is good because now I get extra time. One was regarding the amendments part, other was regarding the credit notes and all. So these are the good provisions, but when we look into section 38, it can be really very dangerous. So it's like we have to make sure all of suppliers are compliant. If they are not, then we'll not be able to run the business properly because I will never be able to claim the ITC and it can negatively impact the working capital. So with this, thank you very much for watching this video. We'll keep on having another webinar also on the same topic where we're going to discuss in detail. Thank you very much.